53996. My opinion is the president discredits himself when he retweets a quote-unquote doctor who believes in demon sperm, alien DNA, exorcism. She thinks gays have a gene that makes them terrorists. She thinks the virus can be prayed away. She thinks sex dreams lead to disease like endometriosis and cancer. And I just think the president discredits himself by doing that. I'm not trying to discredit the president. I think he does a good job of that by himself. JD obviously disagrees with me, and we're taking your phone calls again at 257-5396. All right. Why don't we go directly to our phone lines? Why don't we start off with, well, let's see, why don't we go to Richard? Richard, you are first up on the Vegas Take. What's up, Richard? Thanks for waiting on hold. What's on your mind?
Hey, what's up, Richard?
Hey, yeah. I think thousands of people are dead today because Donald Trump talked about hydroxychloroquine. And I think the reason that they are dead today is because there is such insane hatred for this president that anything he says has to automatically be belittled and put down by the
Okay, so let me ask you a question, Richard.
So what you're saying is that
you hate this president.
You think people should have been given it, weren't given it, and died because they weren't given it?
Absolutely.
Yeah,
okay, so Richard,
all over the world,
Richard,
we're getting better.
Richard,
oh yeah, no, they're actually giving it. They're in Central America. They are handing it out door to door.
Okay, Richard, let me respond now. There is not one doctor in the country that was not allowed to prescribe hydroxychloroquine to a patient. Do you understand that, Richard?
Not in the beginning. That was
not true. Not true. Not true.
Yes, it's true.
You are not being factually accurate, so I will repeat it once again. There is not
no
one
evidence of your fact.
No, I do. I do actually. Because what the president put in place, there is not one governor in the state, including Governor Sisolak, that said a doctor could not prescribe hydroxychloroquine to a patient. You are 100% wrong. Look up your facts and then call. Okay, well, you can tell me it's not true until the cows come home, Sue. But okay, sir, but take off your Donald Trump knee pads, do some research, and then call us back.
I can tell you
I'm right, he's wrong.
I can tell you that Gretchen Whitmer of Michigan definitely did do that.
So thousands of people died because they don't like Donald Trump. That guy sounds like a moron. 702-257-5396. Why don't we talk about the people that have died in this country because we weren't prepared for this pandemic? How about that? Let's go to Chris. Chris, you're next on the Vegas Take. Chris, what's going on?
Hey, what's up, Chris?
Chris, are you there? Chris is not there. 702-257-5396. Let's go to Paul. Paul, I believe you're next on the Vegas Take. What's up?
Hey, Paul.
Hey guys, I kind of agree with both of you. I think that the president should not retweet someone who's unstable like that. But at the same time, there are doctors that agree with the drug, taking that drug. I can't even say it correctly, but I think it's not a drug that's going to harm you if you take it. So I don't think there would be anything wrong with taking it just as kind of as a precaution. It wouldn't hurt to take it. But
okay, can I weigh in, Paul, real quickly?
Sure,
you said with all due respect, you said that this is a drug that if you take it, it will not harm you. Well, there are some studies out there that disagree with you, including the New England Journal of Medicine, one of the most respected organizations in the country and in the world, that disagrees with you. Also, the Journal of the American Medical Association, the National Institutes of Health, also announced not that long ago, by the way, that if you take this drug, not only will it most likely not help you when it comes to the coronavirus, but it could actually hurt you. So what you just said, with all due respect, sir, is not factually accurate.
Well, I can tell you that I took it because I was in the Navy.
That's
and I had
you.
to be vaccinated because I went all around the world. I had to take that drug because of malaria. So, and it didn't do anything to me.
Okay, so let me respond to that again, Paul. I'm glad. Okay, Paul. I'm glad that it didn't do anything to you. But hold on a second.
Every single drug has side effects.
So let me explain
something.
something.
Every single drug
JD,
is going to cause death or adverse effects in some people.
Let me just make my
point. This is not a panacea.
Okay.
It's never been presented as a panacea.
Paul, you could do 20 lines of cocaine and you might make it through okay. But it doesn't. Right. But it doesn't mean that I could guarantee you that if I did one line of cocaine, I would die. Now, why am I bringing that point up?
Well, you said.
Hold on. Why am I bringing that point up? Paul. I'm bringing that point up because just because it didn't affect you negatively doesn't mean it won't affect others, millions of other people out there. Now, there are, again, I brought up the organizations that disagree with you. Just because it didn't affect you doesn't mean it's not going to affect others. Guess what? The coronavirus, some people are asymptomatic. Just because some people are asymptomatic doesn't mean everybody's not going to be asymptomatic. Right, Paul?
That's true, but you know what? I wasn't the only one in the military that took it. And
Didn't
you said
say that.
Some some studies disagree with what I said, which means some agree with what I said.
Right.
I'm not saying
the problem is right now the studies that disagree.
That nobody should take it. I'm saying it's something that we're dying, man. We're dying like crazy, and if it can't be worse, is it worse than the coronavirus?
And I'll tell you this, Paul. Chris. There's going to be a lot of people who are not going to want to take this vaccine after what's happened through this. I did a poll on my own personal Facebook. I had about 180 people respond to it, and I think, and that's mixed between Democrats and Republicans. And I would say probably 5% actually said they would take the vaccine. And if places require you to have this vaccine to travel or to do whatever it is, if there's mandates in place, there's going to be a major backlash. And if we can avoid having that happen. With something like this actually being very, very effective. And what she said it was a cure when it was given early in the process, not it was a cure collectively.
No, she's probably right. I mean, listen, I just hope
I'm saying she's one of many doctors who have made similar statements like this, Brian.
Yeah, well, she's not one of many doctors that have made similar statements about demon sperm, alien DNA, exorcism, gays being terrorists.
That's completely irrelevant
you know what?
to hydroxychloroquine.
Well, you know what? Don't talk
You're
to me.
just leveraging that to drop her credibility, although it has nothing to do with her medical prowess whatsoever.
If I could just make a statement, you want to talk about relevancy, but yet you want to attack Dr. Fauci because of a baseball pitch. 702-257-5396. Let's talk to John. John, you're next on the Vegas Take. What's going on?
Hey, what's up, John?
Hey, hi. Hey, Brian, I agree with you 100%. Thank God for your common sense. We need more voices like you on the air. I'm appalled at your radio station for hiring such a jackass like the JD guy. His recent comment about this witch doctor that Trump publicizes is just despicable.
How is that despicable? How is that despicable, John?
I've served in the military. I've been abroad, and I've seen guys like JD crash and burn. They walk around with their noses high in the air, on their high horse, chips on their shoulder, and you know what doesn't stink. Well, I've seen guys like him crash and burn.
I can tell you this. My SHIT does smell horrible, and Brian can confirm that. So can sign. And I wear
very funny. You're a very funny guy.
And I wear a mask around town.
Hold on.
I wear a mask around town.
John, hang on.
How about that for an icebreaker?
John, hang on a second. Let's have a conversation and a respectful one with JD. Explain to us now.
It's hard to do that with him.
Okay. Well, listen, I have problems respecting a lot of callers. Listen, John, I get it. But what I want you and JD to do is to have a respectful conversation. I think we agree, so there's no point in me talking to you. John, tell me specifically why you think what JD is saying is wrong when it comes to giving any credibility at all to this doctor. Go ahead, John, and then we'll let JD respond.
Because there are people out there that believe him and will believe him. Now he's doing polls. He's doing a poll about who's going to get the vaccine shot should it come about. He's conducting polls on that now. This guy's a wacko.
I have every single right to conduct a poll on my personal Facebook page. That has nothing to do with this conversation. I'm just saying I did a poll, and I told Brian in the audience the results from that particular poll.
Well, can I just?
And I never said that she was the most credible person. What I said was that just because she talked about some crazy things doesn't mean that she's not telling the truth about treating patients with this and it being effective. And a lot of other doctors have followed through with this. And obviously the fact that everything has been censored that this woman has said on every single major, I mean, John, whether you like it or not, about 100 million people saw that video. 100 million people across the United States, probably worldwide, saw that video.
And that's a terrible thing.
How is that a terrible thing?
I'll gladly, John. I appreciate the phone call. Let me respond to JD. Here's why I think
good call, John. But
can I respond?
We can disagree.
Can I respond?
But calling me arrogant because we disagree holds no water whatsoever.
So let me respond to you, JD. Now, why this is dangerous? I'm shocked you don't understand why. This woman does a video and says there's a cure for the coronavirus, which is, by the way, not true, and then says that we should walk outside with no masks. Everybody in Donald Trump's administration, any logical human being would not say that society right now today, we should walk around in this country without masks. So what does that mean? Why is that dangerous? Well, I'm so glad you asked. I'll tell you why. Out of those 100 million people that you claim watch this video, there is a large amount of people that are going to believe it. And you know what that means? They're going to walk outside with no masks. And you know what that means? It's a danger not just to them, but a danger to the others. Let's just get back to the phone calls. I hope I answered your question. 257-5396 is the number to call. Let's go to Joanne. Joanne, you are next on the Vegas Take.
Good morning, gentlemen.
Hey,
Hi,
what's up, Joanne?
What's on your mind?
Well, I've listened to you, and I enjoy listening to talk radio because sometimes it's most informative. I make up my own decisions. I wish that people would, choose to disseminate information and let us use our own brains out here and make our own decisions. Not just what the media spouts, because it's so biased anymore. And you too ought to maybe tone down your rhetoric also.
What have I said that's rhetoric,
Brian,
Joanne?
You do not call me a moron once I hang up.
Okay, Joanne, I'm not going to call you a moron. I'm not going to, Joanne.
Now, let me finish, young man.
No, hold on a second. I'm not going to hang up on you. I'm not going to call you a name, but with all due respect, I have to ask you a question.
Sure.
What have I said in the first 45 minutes of this show that you would consider rhetoric or not truthful? I'm talking about me now, not JD.
What you said collectively, it's over a period of...
Can you be specific? Okay, Joanne, fair enough.
I just asked you to tone down your rhetoric.
Joanne,
let's try to think things positive.
Joanne, I get what you're saying, and I'm being respectful to you, but I'm going to ask you the same question again. You said you've been listening to the show the last couple weeks. Can you please give me one example, which I don't think is asking too much, of something I said on this show that is pure rhetoric that you don't think is factual? Please answer my question.
Much of it.
What do you mean much of it? You can't give me one example. Joanne,
why don't you just disseminate information without being biased?
Ladies and gentlemen, what have I said that is biased? Joanne, I will ask you for a third time now. What have I said that you consider to be rhetoric and bias and not factual? I'm only going to give you one. Go ahead.
I don't like many of the things he does. But I don't call
You're not
them
answering
morons.
You're not answering my question,
stupid.
Joanna. Joanne, she's not answering my question. Pot her down. Joanne, this is my problem. When somebody calls up to a show, all you do is rhetoric. You're biased. It's very fair to ask a question, which, by the way, I've asked Joanne now 3 times, and if you notice, ladies and gentlemen, she's not able to answer. Now, I'm going to ask her one more time, Joanna, Joanne, I'm going to ask you one more time. With all due respect, I haven't called you any names. I just want you to answer a question because when somebody makes a claim, you're claiming bias and rhetoric out of my mouth. You've listened to the show for 2 weeks, which we appreciate. We hope you continue to listen. But I'm going to ask one more time. Can you please be specific and give me one thing I've ever said on this show, not just today, that you consider bias? See, she's not listening. Bias, rhetorical, rhetoric, and not factual. Go.
Let me ask you that.
No, you're not asking me anything. I'm asking you a question for the 5th time. Please answer.
You. Are you biased? Are you biased?
No, I'm not biased at all. I did. Excuse me. I did an hour. I'll answer your question since you won't answer mine, and I noticed.
Well, I'll tell you what
hold on a second. I'm going to answer your question now. I did an hour yesterday blasting Steve Sisolak. You know why, Joanne? Because I'm not biased. Because I don't care that Steve Sisolak is a Democrat. I don't care if somebody has a D or an R next. Yeah, you're laughing, aren't you? All right, say goodbye to this woman. Say goodbye to her. Say goodbye to her. This is why I call some callers morons. Now you understand why, ladies and gentlemen. Now do you understand why when somebody calls up and they claim that you're biased, they claim that all you do is spout rhetoric. I asked
Brian, you are biased against Donald Trump.
Okay, well, I know you're going to think that.
No, you are. I mean, how are you not biased against Donald Trump? Clearly you are.
So let me give you an answer to that as well. So maybe you and her are in the same category. I don't know, but let me answer that.
There isn't a consistent listener that we have that is going to say that you don't have an inherent bias and a hatred for Donald Trump. That you apply to every single situation. Whenever before Donald Trump. Is involved.
Let me explain to you.
And that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that.
Let me explain to you the difference between being biased and having an opinion on somebody based on facts. Okay? Before Donald Trump got into office, I didn't have any bias towards the man. In fact, I said, well, I hope he tones down, to use the term rhetoric. I'm rooting for him. And I said that on the air. And I said, I hope he's a good president. I hope he does a good job. Zero bias. Since Donald Trump has become president, and soon before, when he's gone after POWs, when he's attacked women on looks, when he's talked about injecting yourself with disinfectant, so on and so forth, I give the list down. These are things that I have criticized the president for. And I don't like the man personally because of the things he says, the way he treats people. There's a difference between bias. Okay, I don't like Hillary Clinton. I don't like Steve Sisolak. But you probably wouldn't go on the air and say, well, Brian is biased towards Democrats. Brian is biased towards Steve Sisolak. If you notice, this woman laughed. because she didn't know what to say. She said I was biased. You weren't here, JD. I did an hour. I did an hour yesterday.
Oh, yes. No, I was not here yesterday.
Trashing Steve Sisolak because I think he is a joke.
Warranted.
Okay?
Warranted.
Okay, but it's warranted and it's okay if it's a Democrat, but if it's a Republican, I'm biased.
Has nothing to do with him being a Democrat.
Folks, this is
has everything to do with him being completely incompetent.
Folks, this is exactly what I'm talking about. So when I attack Donald Trump and I critique Donald Trump, I must be biased, and it's rhetoric. But when I attack Steve Sisolak for an hour, it's warranted. 702-257-5396 is the number to call. Let's go to Herb. Herb, you are next on the Vegas Take. What's going on?
Hey, what's up, Herb?
Hey, JD, how you doing? Listen, I just want to tell you, man, I am so proud of you. At the beginning of the show, when you had that statement and you didn't let Brian interrupt you, you said what you had to say. You stood your ground. I really like that. And there's a lot of people out here listening to this show that appreciate that and like that too. I know there's some people that don't like you, and they talk to this previous caller that talked about you. But trust me, man, just stand your ground.
Okay.
When you got something to say, say it.
Okay, so Herb, what would you like to say about? We appreciate that, Herb. What would you like? What would you like to say about the topic that we're actually discussing?
Well, I will say this. I think that President Trump needs to check things out a little bit better before he tweets them. Before he retweets them, I do believe that, and I think it just creates discussion and fodder. But one of the things that I do have a problem with is the fact that watching the hearings yesterday.
We're not talking about the hearings, Herb.
No, I just told you how I felt about the tweet. I don't like that.
Okay, well, Herb, we're not talking about Attorney General Barr right now.
I know you're not. I just want to say something about the hearings itself, as far as the format. If you invite somebody to come in for a hearing,
okay, no, I can't do it. I can't do it. Just get rid of them. Herb, here's the deal, buddy. Okay, we stay on topic. Okay.
No, Herb, we're talking about that at 10:30.
Yeah, if you'd like to call back, that's fine. But we stay on topic here on the Vegas Take. We appreciate the phone call, Herb.
Thanks for the kind words, Herb. Appreciate it.
You can agree with JD all you want to, but from my point of view, all I ask is you stay on topic. I don't think that's hard to follow. 702-257-5396 is the number to call. Let's go to Steve. Steve is next on the Vegas Take. Steve, what's up?
Hey, what's up, Steve?
Hey, Brian. Okay, so from what you were telling JD about President Trump, and I know you hate him, but do you think if he wasn't an a-hole in your mind, do you think otherwise is he a good president?
Well, that's a good question, and I'll give you a very, very honest answer. When you use the term a-hole, there's a lot of things. I put a-hole into the category of if there is a bounty on our troops, you need to investigate that, and you need to talk to Vladimir Putin about it. So when you say a-hole, I'm not just talking about going after women or POWs. I'm also talking about some very, very important subjects and issues. So I'm also talking about the pandemic. I'm talking about Russia. I'm talking about the bounty on troops. If you get rid of all that stuff and you get rid of his horrendous attitude and the retweets and all that stuff, maybe, Steve. I mean, I can't guarantee you, but I'd say there'd be a much better chance that I would like the man. But you have to understand, Steve, we're not just talking about petty little things here, right? We're talking about.
Brian, if you didn't have,
because I would rather have a good president that I didn't like than a bad president that I did like.
Well, my definition.
So I'm just saying.
I understand, but I understand, Steve. But my definition of a bad president would be saying, about the troops, about the bounty in Russia, and Donald Trump has done nothing about it, and it's been a month. I mean, to me, that's his attitude and that's his persona with Russia and Vladimir Putin, and I don't understand why. I
think in a lot of cases, Brian, his thing is if he reacts too fast, then he sounds like a fool.
I disagree.
If he doesn't react fast enough, he sounds like a fool.
I disagree, Steve. All he had to do is say this. And by the way, I don't know if he brought up the bounty on troops with Vladimir Putin. I hope he did. I tend to think he didn't. All he had to say was this. The subject did come up. We are continuing to investigate it, and we have no further information at this time. I would have been totally okay with that. Not only did he not say that, he didn't even say whether he brought it up with Vladimir Putin. That is a bad president. And you use the term a-hole. I mean, use any term you want. We're not talking about petty things. I hope you understand. 702-257-5396. Let's go to Ryan. Ryan, you're next on the Vegas Take. What's up?
Hey, what's up, Ryan?
Hey, not much. Hey, I was calling about the doctor situation and ask some questions on that.
Yes, sir.
Whether she's kind of kooky or not, what if there's something valid there, and what about all the other doctors?
Sure, really good question, and I'm so glad you brought that up because you're talking about the other doctors, and I talked about Dr. Stella. Well, let me give you a little bit of background on some of the other doctors, like Dr. Tadaro, Dr. James Tadaro, hasn't seen a patient since 2018. What's he doing these days? He's promoting Bitcoin. He largely credited with creating President Trump's obsession with hydro. There are other doctors behind, like Dr. Jenny Martin. Dr. Jenny Martin is the co-founder of an anti-tax group called the Tea Party Patriots Foundation, an alternate delegate to the Republican National Committee Convention. Dr. Simone Gold was also standing behind them. Simone Gold is a doctor and lawyer in L.A. who publicly takes credit as the founder of America's Frontline Doctors, a group whose website was set up 12 days ago, and now it just so happens that it appears to be down. She appears to be a co-organizer of the Beverly Hills Conservative Club as well. Also, hold on a second, I'm not done yet. Also standing behind Dr. Stella, Dr. Daniel Erickson. I don't know if you know who Dr. Derek Erickson is, but by the end of April, Fox News' Laura Ingraham had Erickson on to talk about his opinion on how to deal with COVID-19, questioning the stay-at-home order in California. And during another Fox News appearance, things took a weird turn when Erickson started spouting conspiracies involving George Soros, trying to censor his message on herd immunity, according to the Washington Examiner. Now, you talked about some of the doctors, some of the other doctors there. There's a laundry list and a history of
But
some
I'm
of
a real
those other
doctor.
Yeah, but she's a real doctor.
I mean, they are doctors, and we're doctors. When is the last time Dr. Fauci practiced actual medicine?
Doc, if you
I
want
can tell you this, Dr. Fauci has not seen or treated one person that has COVID-19.
But here's the difference. Hold on. Let's go there. Let's go there.
But that doesn't mean he's not a doctor.
Let's go there. Ryan,
we should be looking into?
Sure, Ryan, let's go there for a second. Dr. Fauci has been the top infectious disease doctor in the country for the last 40 years. You know the awards he got because of the AIDS pandemic? So if you want to compare Dr. Fauci to some of these buffoons in the America's Frontline Doctors, you have a right to do that, but I think there's something wrong with you if you want to do that, Ryan. We got a lot of other calls to get to in a short period of time here. Let's go to Christoph.
Good call, Ryan.
Christoph, what's on your mind, man?
What's up, Christoph?
How you guys doing this morning?
Good.
I just wanted to say, and retort to, it's somewhat on topic, that lady Joanne that was saying how biased you were. I jumped over to the station recently after Kevin Wall came over, and now you guys are my new morning show.
Well, thank you.
And I like it because you're not biased, and I don't know where these people are coming from.
Thank you.
But you're absolutely not biased, and I appreciate what you guys are doing in the morning. That's all I want to say.
Well, Christoph, that means a lot.
Thanks a lot, Christoph.
That means a lot to me, and to be honest with you, that's the best compliment somebody could give me. Because, again, I appreciate that, Christoph, because as you know, you listened to the show yesterday, Christoph, I went an hour blasting Steve Sisolak. Find me another show, Christoph, that will blast Steve Sisolak, the same host I'm talking about, and then blast Donald Trump. Can you find me another show?
It doesn't exist.
Exactly. Christoph, we appreciate you, my man, and I'm glad that you're one of those listeners out there that recognizes that. 257-5396. Let's go to Joe. Joe is next on the Vegas Take. Joe, what's going on?
What's up, Joe?
How are you doing this morning, gentlemen?
What's up, Joe?
Doing well.
Well, I find it that you're trying to use as an indictment Bitcoin and Tea Party leadership. But last week when I told you that the founders of BLM were Marxists, you just shrugged that off.
Did you see?
Valid point.
So did you see Barack Obama? Hold on, let's go with that. Hold on a second.
Kill 200 million people.
Let's go with that. Have you seen Joe? I need you to listen for a second. Have you seen any?
Listen to you. Go ahead.
Okay. Have you seen any prominent Democrats? I'm talking about Barack Obama, even a past president, retweet a Marxist or somebody that has killed people or some? Have you seen that?
Okay, well, let's talk about
No, it's not
Barack
okay.
Obama.
It's not. No. Answer the question. Answer.
Hey, I believe that Barack Obama.
Rights belief system.
So the guy had an opportunity to answer that question, and he did.
I don't know whether your chips are malfunctioning.
Yeah, chips are malfunctioning. The president of the United States retweeted this woman. I didn't. I don't think any other Republicans did. But guess what? The president of the United States did.
A lot of Republicans did, Brian.
Well, there's a shocker.
In fact, do you know how the video got viral? How it wasn't taken down early? Well, I do.
I don't care how it got viral.
So there's 4 influencers that have about 250,000 followers. They're all conservative influencers. They actually showed up at this event. One of them is the one, Rogan O'Hanley, who actually asked Jerry Nadler about Antifa violence in Portland, and Nadler called it a myth, obviously, and then Jim Jordan just destroyed him with that video, which we'll talk about later. But that being said, so 4 influencers showed up and they videotaped it. They videotaped the entire White Coat Summit conference, and they put it on Twitter. So it exploded so quickly that Twitter couldn't take it down fast enough.
I care much about how much this video exploded virally as I care about my last bathroom visit. What I care about is the credibility of this woman and the fact that the president of the United States retweeted it. But guess what? We'll ask Doug Basham
And
coming up next.
Nothing
We got to
you've
take a
said
break.
has lowered her credibility.
Coming up next, Coming up next, we've got Doug Basham, the only liberal talk show host in Vegas. I have a feeling he and JD are going to get into it. All that and much, much more coming up next on the Vegas Take.